well, I try to make like a little introduction whistle with that. But yeah, let's get right to it. So I know you guys probably watched the debate the other day, and I wanted to kind of point out how the very first question of the debate kind of basically let us all know what we're in for with either candidate's presidency, and how we're kind of screwed because nothing's really going to change, because the first question was the question that actually mattered the most. It mattered more than Russia and Ukraine. It matters more than even climate change and our relationships with other countries. It matters more than BRICS. And of course, it's like everything part of the Great Reset. But it was a question that was asked to Kamala, where the guy basically pointed out how inflation is out of control and most things are unaffordable to everybody, with the most important being housing, because that directly affects families, which directly affects the future of the nation. And basically asked, like, do you think this economy has been bad this whole time? And Kamala basically humble bragged, and I hate, this is why like politicians are kind of controlled by demons, and they want to be gods, because then she was like, oh, my family was middle class in the day and got to own a house and blah, 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 trying to give us information about her. And to be quite frank, I feel like whenever you reach the presidency, you should not really talk about your past and your life anymore, because everybody knows. What the fuck was that? Oof. Gotta stop eating so much. But yeah, but everybody knows who you are, Kamala. We don't need you to tell us that, okay? About your family, when you claim you're like black, and it's like, I really hate the usage of black. She's clearly Indian, Coolie, Indian, West Indian, whatever her dad is, you know, because of course they don't call themselves black like that. So but yeah, so she humble bragged and then brought up, under her she would have an opportunity economy. And that was pretty horrible to me, because if this is supposed to be America, our whole identity is based around opportunity. So for you to say you're going to have an opportunity economy, it shows that, one, yes, you did answer the question when she didn't, but theoretically she did when she was speaking, that, yeah, this economy is bad. Because if you have to have an economy of opportunity under you, that means there is none, or there's none really right now going on. But then the other thing about that is the fact that she had to title the economy like it's some new economy she just bought at the Louis store. You know what I'm saying? Like, opportunity economy. Like, no, motherfucker. It's the economy. Say you have a better economy. She didn't even say a better economy. She said, I'm going to have an opportunity economy. Okay, I really hope so. And, you know, it's just, it sucks. But people got to understand that the reason things won't really change in this country is demons run it. See, as I've been understanding my journey spiritually, and I've been bathing myself in the light of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, or HaKadosh, you know, I've come to understand that the people in charge of the country, this is a business. This is less of a country and more of a business. And that's why corporations always seem to do well, even if they do bad. They just get bought out, or the CEOs and everybody at the top, the corporate structure within it gets bought out. They go out of business. But they always do good, but we're always doing worse. Because for now, the worse we do, it's like it gives them more opportunity. Although, honestly, it's just an Ouroboros. It's a snake eating its tail. Eventually, it's going to choke. And eventually, we're going to be so poor, they can't afford shit. And I think that's when you'll see a new kind of economy. It'll be a surf economy, you know. And they're not trying to make our lives better, because if they wanted to, they already could have. And when it really comes down to it, you got to kind of understand, this is why it's important to believe in Yahweh, or God, as you would like to call him for most Christians and Catholics, because you can't really rely on man. See, man's duty was, in Genesis, our first duty was to subdue the earth and the animals, and then mate with each other, make more of each other, and continue on a tradition of taking care of this earth Yahweh has made for us, and living in his light as his children, and looking to him and being forever thankful and grateful, because he gave us something of which we can't make. Like, we can make life, but remember, one of the principles of physics is matter can't be created or destroyed. And he created matter. You know, if we can't create matter and he can, we have to be eternally thankful for him, because without him, none of this is possible. And man today, for one, is separated from God. So man today thinks they have all the answers. And see, the thing is, when you don't live under the rules and commandments of God, you live under the rules and commandments of yourself, which can be anything. That's why it's so bad not to have Yahweh as your governing principle, because for, you know, men, we'll just make our own laws and then break them and everything, because realistically, he has the power and the authority to get the commandments, because he created the essence and everything here. We don't. So when we try to come up with our own laws and ways to govern ourselves, the people in charge is just not going to listen. And that's what the government has been doing. You know, they're supposed to be serving us, and yet they're making it harder for us to eat, harder for us to live. They're all over the place when it comes to whatever philosophies they have. That's why they have Democrats and Republicans. And even in itself, think about it real hard. This is called the United States of America, but our government has separate parties. That doesn't make any sense. So how are we the United States, but then our government is divided? And in fact, I've always thought about this too, but it's like, why do we even have all these separate states with so many separate laws and rulings, but we're united? We can't even really agree on the same things. And you see it in how the people act, you know, and people are so tribal over these political parties, wherein the parties don't care much about them, because if you're not rich, who cares? And I just kind of hated that whole debate, because they didn't talk about us, the American people, what they do for us. The debate should have been, it wasn't a debate. It was just a defamation Super Bowl. All Kamala did was talk about Trump. All Trump did was rebut every single thing about him Kamala said, make up lies, sometimes tell the truth, and then just kind of promote himself almost. But no one was talking about the solutions that they were truly going to bring, regardless of the other person. And none of them were really talking about what we Americans are going through and how they're going to help us. And at this point, they have to save us, you know. So I just kind of don't care. I'm a Republican, and I'm not a Democrat. I'm an American, basically by where I come from in the land, but I don't even call myself black. I'm not an American either. Really, I'm an Israelite. I consider myself a Hebrew Israelite, because I'm so disattached from the world of men. I really understand when I read the Bible where I really come from, who I need to go back to, and who I need to get away from. Because it's not just this American system. If you look all around the world, every government is failing. Every single one. There is not one successful government. You want to know why? Because there are always problems in every country in the world that are substantial. Even in places like Sweden and whatnot, they're having immigration issues, and most of the happiest countries like Finland and whatever have the highest rates of suicide, and they don't know what to do about it. They're at the point where they're giving people euthanasia medically and being like, okay, you want it, you can have it. And I'm not explaining that into full detail. That's just a general gist of it. But every government in the world is failing. Every economy in the world is failing. Everything is failing. And that's why they're coming up with the stuff like the Great Reset. But see, that's the problem with these demons too. They want to reset. They don't want to refresh. See, we need to be refreshed. We need to disavow ourselves of the way of man and go by the way of Yahweh. That's a refresh. We're restarting, but we're freshened. It's like we're new life. That's why you die in the first place, so you can be refreshed, you know. And then to inherit this kingdom. But that's something that the other brothers like Rim to Save 144 can explain to you better. But for us, of the 144,000 and the rest that followed me in the kingdom, you know, that's what it's going to be, a refresh. These people want to reset. Look at the wordplay. They are going to reset. They're just going to go back to where they started, because they're going to reverse the set. Not reverse the freshness, reverse the set. So though, even if they restart everything and everything's clean and fine and they solve the money problem in the economy, we'll be at the same set place where we were before, and things will just end up doing what they always do. And you can look throughout history and it shows. And to end this off, the greatest example of a great reset anyway is the American Empire complex. Because if you look at how, let's start off, like, I can't remember from Sumerian to Babylon or whatever, but Sumerian Empire falls, Babylon comes and takes it after, you know, they discover that. And Babylon makes this empire and everything, has its gods, and then it gets taken by Egypt because Babylon gets big. Then it falls after reaching all throughout the Middle East and everything. And then Egypt, and it's Egypt's turn. Then they fall once the Greeks kind of start getting big and coming into contact with them. Then once the Rome starts to kind of rise, it adopts with the Greeks, and then they're on top. And then the Romans get out to the British area, past the Gauls and all of them stuffs. And there's a period where it's really a battle between France and the UK to see who's going to take up that next, you know, kingdom, whatever, empire. And it turns out being the UK. So then the UK comes out to here in America. And really, it's like Spain, UK, and France. Because once everyone discovered the Americas, that's why the Louisiana Purchase was such a big deal and everything. It was basically a robbery. Everyone noticed that when America was discovered by these people, which is funny, because these people want to act like they were so advanced, but there was thousands of other tribes across the world that had been in America already. They were like, there is so much land and so much shit here. Whoever takes this place over will be richer than ever. It'll be hard as hell to launch an offensive once you lock up all the coastline and the inner, who knows what's in here too, even more riches. UK ends up taking up everything. Boom. Then America grows out of that, like as a counterbalance, I guess. And now America's on top. But you know why they gotta have a great reset? Because there's nowhere else new for these people to discover and nothing else to take. So the last option is to have a new world order, because that's the only way you can make a new empire at this point. And we'll see what goes on from there. But it's starting to get thundering, and I gotta get back. Ooh, I farted. I gotta get back inside to go to work so I don't get wet right now. But yeah, that's how things are going. And I just I don't have a belief in America. I'm not an American either, because America is, as itself, is just a concept, and it's just a business. It's not a real country. There is no real, the closest thing we have to anything like a tradition or some kind of culture is cowboy culture. That's why everyone assumes an American is just like a Texas redhead going yeehaw, shooting a gun and stuff, because that's really the only thing we kind of made original. Even half of that was taken from the natives. So, you know, it's crazy out here. But you guys stay safe. Kamala and Trump ain't shit. None of them ain't shit. We're screwed. And then you can try to move to another country if you want, but I told you, they're all fucked. So, see you.